I'm Jen Wichita, the chair at Brodhead. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. We're thrilled to see so many of our community members here. If you didn't sign in at the front table on your way in, there's papers coming around, and if you could please sign in, that helps us. Thank you. So again, welcome. We have a special guest with us tonight. Calvin Boldebuck is a field representative from Congressman Pohan's office. We are excited to show what Better Brodhead and Y2Y are doing to improve our community for our youth. We would like to acknowledge those who made our meal possible. Ronnie Stapleman from our high school kitchen prepared the meal. Texas Roadhouse donated the tossed salad, and the local churches provided other salads and desserts. Chris Roshheisen and Joyce Nipple are helping in the kitchen tonight. We want to thank Erica Klecker, Stephanie Hurt, and the Y2Y members for being here tonight. We are looking forward to showcasing their important work and their outstanding achievements. We appreciate Shayla Zakowski and Jason Reister for their technical assistance, and our custodians Glenn and Tyson for their help. Now I'd like to introduce you to the Better Brodhead officers and board of directors. Members, please stand when I call your name. So my name is Jen Wichita, and I'm the chair. Julie Taylor is our vice chair. And Debbie Williams is our treasurer. Board members are Danielle Gallagher, Ellie Lynch, Abby Wellemeyer, Petter Johansson, Stephanie Pino, Susan Pamato, Brian Bennett, and Allison Ahmed. Our youth representatives are Rhiannon Keene and Kerrigan Bennett. Now I'm going to turn things over to our program director, Kathy Kummel.
Welcome. It's so great to see so many of you here tonight. My name's Kathy Kummel. I'm the program director for Better Brodhead. And one of the things that we often hear is, what does Better Brodhead do? What is prevention anyway? So we're going to just take a couple minutes and talk about what prevention is. And we start by looking at a story. There we go. There's a story, it's an analogy, about a man who went to the stream to do some fishing. And he saw in the stream that there was a child, and he rushed into the stream and pulled the child out to safety. Then all of a sudden he saw another child floating down the stream. Jumped into the river and pulled that child out too. Pretty soon there were more children coming down the stream, and so the man went and got some of his friends, brought them back to the river to help him pull the children out of the stream. One of the men decided, let me go upstream and see what's causing all these children to be falling into the river. And what he found was that there was a railing that had broken off from the bridge. So as the children were crossing the bridge, they were falling through where that railing was. So by fixing the railing, they were able to stop children falling into the bridge. So that's an example of prevention. So in the same way, when we look at the problems in the community, we're really looking at the local conditions that are creating those problems, and those are the things that we're going to be addressing. Prevention is part of a continuum of care. So taking care of people can involve treatment, it can involve recovery, but prevention is really looking at the population or subpopulation or individuals who are at risk for addiction. We follow the strategic prevention framework. This is something that was developed by SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse Mental Health Services Administration. And we look at data in order to decide what problems we're going to address. So the first thing we do is assess the community. We determine what our capacity is to address those issues. We develop a plan, we implement the plan, and then we evaluate how well we've done to see if we've actually had an impact on addressing the problems. What we found is the most successful way of addressing problems is not treating individuals, but by treating the environment. And another story that kind of illustrates this is the frog in the pond. If we saw a frog that was in a pond and the frog was sick, and we took that frog out and treated the frog so it was healthy, and then put it back in the pond, and the frog got sick again, what do you think the problem is? It may not be the frog, it may be the pond. So by fixing the pond, we not only help that frog, but we help all the other frogs stay healthy. So we use that same approach by using environmental strategies. So we look at population level changes rather than changing individuals. A couple of years ago, we received funding through the Drug-Free Communities Grant. And this grant allowed us to develop partnerships with local organizations and strengthen our volunteers within the community. Because the federal grant realizes that in order to address local problems, you really need to find local solutions. So we have partners around the table that represent 12 different sectors of this community. We have partners in faith, business, school, health, law enforcement, media, and others. Off the top of my head, I can't remember them all, but they're listed up there. Youth serving organizations, parents, and especially our youth, who you'll be hearing from today. We started out a couple years ago with one youth representative, and now we have over 65. So we are really excited about the youth that are involved in our programs. Lastly, if you'd like more information about the activities that Better Brodhead is involved with, or you'd like to get involved yourself, please look at our new website that it just debuted a couple weeks ago, and you can get more information. Also, we've got coming up next week is our candidate forum on Monday night, and the following week we're going to be showing a film straightforward that's on addiction, the cycle of addiction, and that will be held at the library. Now I'm going to that was kind of a quick summary of what prevention is all about and what Better Brodhead is trying to do in this community. I'm going to turn it over now to Abby Wellemeyer, who is our evaluator, and she's going to summarize our first annual report and what we've actually achieved.
Enjoying their dinner. Few nods, great, good job. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the Drug-Free Community Grant Evaluation. And here I'm going to show you a little bit of the parameters that I used to put the analysis together. So you may know that Better Brodhead has 3 objectives, but only one of them coincides with the Drug-Free Communities Grant. And so that is one aspect that I looked at. I did not look at reducing bullying or dating violence because that is not a shared goal with the Drug-Free Communities Grant. Some other things that I took into consideration were the time frame. And because Better Brodhead was just awarded this grant, I had to start and look at the data that was available this grant year. So prior to this analysis, and for the DFC purposes, Better Brodhead had not established a baseline in reference to these shared goals. So this is going to be some new measurement stuff here. All right, so the first goal that is similar between the Drug-Free Communities Grant and Better Brodhead is looking at their growth. And it's a big success. Membership has skyrocketed actually, up to 118 members, and that includes the youth. And so for that particular measurement, Better Brodhead is right on. One of my recommendations to the organization in the future is to start targeting different populations and looking, as Kathy mentioned before, at where the sectors are participating. And we know that there's certain strategies that support individual information or education, and those you can see up here are strategies 1 through 3. So each time one of our members goes to a training, say, or participates in an activity where they themselves are gleaning knowledge, they're going back to their sectors and then spreading that knowledge, and then therefore that influence is growing. But I think what's most interesting is these other environmental strategies, like the frog in the pond. Strategies 4 through 7 create the most impactful of changes in our community. And so what I'd like to see Better Brodhead do is look at targeting those strategies and getting more sectors involved in those strategies. And that's just an example. There's a few other ways that I've looked at this data, and it's available in our annual report. All right, and here we can see shared goal number 2 between the Drug-Free Communities Grant and Better Brodhead is about the reduction in youth substance use. And we're looking here, the first data that we have for this baseline is from the Youth Risk Behavior Survey that our middle school and high school students complete every 2 years. And this is self-reported data, so it's definitely valid. It's just maybe not as strong as some of the other data that we can collect. But in conjunction with a lot of other data sources, this is very meaningful. And so this is the first data points for youth substance use. Hopefully we'll see this trend go down as we plot more years of YRBS data. So we have another bunch of data points that we'll be able to track coming up in this year. So that'll be interesting. And so Better Brodhead is right on in looking at those indicators to see the success of their objectives. But something else that I would like to see them go further in doing is looking at their areas of focus and seeing where are they putting the most time and effort, and where are the most of the members and sectors participating. You know, what strategies are we using? Are they more of a personal strategy or an environmental strategies in these areas of focus? So that's another thing. And then, like this graph here, there's more in-depth analysis of this particular goal and these measures in the annual report. But I kind of wanted to give you guys a brief preview or overview of what this data is going to look like and how we hope to see these trends develop. But Better Brodhead is doing a great job identifying their data, in my professional opinion, and I think that just a little bit more winnowing of it is going to prove very beneficial, and getting some consistent data from other sectors would be good too. So if any of you have questions, feel free to contact me. I'm not going to take them right now because time is limited. But here's my email address and my phone number, and I'm happy to talk to any of you about any of this information. And that's all from me. So next, we get the grand finale here, the youth membership presentation.
Okay, so while they're figuring out some technological stuff, we're going to go through and introduce ourselves. So my name's Trinity. I'm a senior. I've been in this group for 2 years, and yeah.
My name's Kerrigan. I'm also a senior.
My name's Rhiannon, and I'm also a senior.
My name is Carissa, and I'm a sophomore.
My name's Anna, and I'm also a sophomore.
I'm Cora, I'm a senior.
I'm Lexi, and I'm a junior.
I'm Nadia, and I'm a junior.
I'm Morgan, and I'm a senior.
I'm Zoe, and I'm a junior.
And these are our advisors.
I'm Erica Klecker. I'm an English teacher at Brodhead High School.
And I'm Stephanie Hurt, sorry about that. And I'm an English teacher too. Thanks for your patience.
We started this group last year. I started this group last year and we had about 25 members. And this year we're up to about 60 members, and you can see that's a picture of our group there, and we're still missing a couple of our members in the picture. And Rhiannon and Kerrigan designed our t-shirts in the picture that all of us are wearing today. Last year, you'll see a picture too, Morgan Tressimer designed our t-shirts. You'll see a picture of those in a minute. If you could follow us on Instagram, Brodhead_Y2Y, you can see all of the activities that we're regularly participating in, and our hashtags are Be the Majority and Rise Above the Influence.
Okay, so I've been a part of this group since it started. I was one of the people who helped make it grow also. So the first year we had about 25 students that were in it, and this is the first year. This is about how many students we had. And then now this year we have almost 60, which is great because who doesn't want more people?
So these are pictures of some of the activities and stuff we did last year. You can see at our meetings. I believe those colored pieces of paper had like motivational quotes on them, and then we just posted those around the school. And then same concept with these pictures up here. And this was just like a committee meeting. We have meetings, and we don't always necessarily like make things and stuff like that. Sometimes we just talk about what we need to fix and ways that we can do that. So that was pretty cool.
Last year we did a prom pledge, and we had this banner at our high school during lunch periods and also at the wellness fair last year. And everyone who signed this banner was agreeing to be substance free for that period of time because prom is a party time commonly. And whenever people signed, we gave away one of our Y2Y lanyards. And we plan on doing that again this year because it did work out very well last year. And this banner is hanging up in our foyer right under the clock, just over there.
Okay, so last year we got to go on go to a leadership summit up in East Troy. It was our 2 advisors and 4 students. They were all juniors last year. And it was a really cool experience to meet other kids around the state doing similar things that we were. And at the conference, we also got to set up a plan to do something at our school, and we chose to do a PSA. And it was right before graduation to prevent some partying at the graduation parties.
Okay, so last summer there was an international conference in Ohio. Myself and 3 other people from Brodhead, Y2Y went. Better Brodhead sponsored it, so thank you to them. We learned a lot of different things from the other Y2Y groups that went. They came from all over the nations, all over the place. But we brought back a bunch of different things from that group, like family groups. So it's taking different people from different kind of friend groups and putting them together so that they can all work together to achieve common goals. Here they did some like live PSAs for us, and we took back some of those ideas for our own PSAs, and it was a really great experience and we learned a lot. Okay, and then we did an environmental scan too, so we went around to different stores and businesses in town and looked at the advertisement and where things were placed as far as alcohol near chips and stuff like that. And there was a lot of different promotional things, like at the store, there, at the pig, there was buy a pack of brats, or no, buy like a case of beer, you get a free pack of brats. So there's different promotional things promoting alcohol. A lot of the stores didn't have very big signs saying that they ID and stuff, so we just kind of took a look at that to see what it's like in our community.
So at the start of the year, we gained a lot of new members. We're at around 60 now. We just started talking about like what our plans are for the school year and what are the things we're gonna do. So during homecoming week, we had a tailgate, and Youth to Youth put on their own little booth, and you were able to get little goodies, and we had a selfie board that you were able to take pictures with and post it on Instagram and things like that.
Okay, also during the homecoming pep rally, we had Mrs. Klecker and Mrs. Hurt take a picture with it, and that's Mrs. Klecker's children in the middle. And then we also had a Respect Your Selfie campaign where me and a few other students were, our picture was taken and it was put all around the school, and it was just kind of promoted to respect your selfie and respect your decisions that you choose to do.
For October, we did anti-bullying month. It was one of our themes. We have a different theme every month. And during resource, we split into our family groups, and we did activities that went around the school.
Okay, Y2Y, we got to host two speakers, Amalia's Hope and Scott Bakovich. Our whole entire school came into the auditoria and we got to listen to him. He was, they were both very, they left us with a lot of new ideas, and it was just very influential. It was a very great message that they brought.
When Rhiannon and I and those two other students went down to the international conference in Ohio, we also picked up different themes for each month. So we kind of started assigning themes of what we're going to try and tackle that month. Like how Anna said, in October we chose anti-bullying, and we made PSAs and flush facts and posted them around the school based on that theme. And we do that for every month, and we're going to hopefully continue doing it. And it works out really well. We usually divide into our family groups for that too. And each family group will do a different thing. One will be off decorating, one will be off collecting facts. The flush facts are different facts about the topics for each month, and then there's some other little fun facts too spliced in there.
So for one of our meetings, we chose to watch a movie, and the movie we chose was Odd Girl Out, and it's about a girl who was severely bullied at her school, and it's about the challenges that many students in high school face, and it kind of opened a few of our eyes to what really goes on and how you can help others. And in the end, it shows how she finally stood up for herself and told them it was wrong, and she kind of gained the confidence to get over the bullying and not let them affect her.
Okay, so a month or two ago, a few of us up here went to Monroe and we presented to Guppy. We did the same presentation, but a little less because we added more, but we just presented and told them what we were all about.
So sort of our December and January theme was mental health in general. As finals were approaching, we noticed that some of our students feel a little bit more stressed out, the anxiety is there, so we wanted to kind of provide some stress relief, so to say. So we had some different types of things that we did. If you guys are familiar with our school, we have different pods. So for one, in A-Pod we had a coloring station. So students, we had a huge coloring page that they could come in whenever they felt so, and just colored in some spaces just as a stress relief type of release. And then in others we gave them candy as kind of their finals treat. And then some above me, just some infomercial type things that they could flip up and read. So, and now we got to finals. We sponsored a relaxation room. This was in Mrs. Hurt's room. So it's just kind of a place where students could come. It's calm. We had some fun seating, no lights, some games, more coloring pages, things like that, where they could come in either after their final, before their final, when they had any free time during that week, and they could come in and just have a really nice, quiet space to relax in.
For the month of February, we focused on relationship and dating violence. So our advisors post a lot of things on our Instagram page about like how to prevent dating violence and like how to help people if they're like experiencing that kind of stuff.
At the last Teacher in Service in February, Rhiannon and I hosted a QPR training for the staff of the Brodhead School District. QPR stands for Question, Persuade, Refer. Everyone who attends this training is deemed a suicide gatekeeper by the end. And it's really it's good in any profession, but I feel like it's very necessary in schools when you're working around young kids and when suicide is the second leading cause of death from ages 10 to 24. We had my father, Richard Bennett of Dane County Sheriff, and Jean.
Afterwards, a lot of the staff were very receptive of it. They thought it was a really great training. And also us, along with Better Brodhead, provided breakfast for them.
Wake Up helped fund some of the money that we got to provide breakfast, and in return we invited the Brodhead Police Department, so we did have some officers who also attended this training. And it went very well, and I hope that everyone who received this training can continue using it inside and outside of their profession. And I think it's a good training that anyone can take no matter what field you're in.
So obviously, as you guys can see, Youth Tooth covers a really broad spectrum of different issues and ideas and stuff, but one of the bigger main focuses is on convincing children that it's not good to do drugs. So we filmed in our family groups, we filmed little PSAs, and each group was assigned a different drug, and then we thought of just like funny, because as teenagers we get a lot of like really harsh stuff thrown at us, so we thought like if we could think of like cute, funny ways to put in videos of like gentle reminders, then maybe that would get through a little more. So we're slowly cycling them into our daily announcements.
For the school shooting that just happened, on the 14th we went outside and released 17 balloons. And we went out and I read a few names, and as I read the name, we let a balloon go in memory of each person that was killed.
And then for as you guys probably know, they had the walkout. Well, we also heard of something called walk up. Instead of just walking out, we can walk up and recognize the people who might need help. So that's another thing we did. And then for the balloon releasing, it wasn't just Y2Y members, the whole school was invited. So we also had a crowd helping us release the balloons. And then also back to the PSA drug thing. If you watch the Super Bowl, you will get this. This is one of our examples of the public's. Okay, well it was one of the fun videos that we put in our announcements, and it involved Tide Pods, like Tide Pod ads. It's on the Brodhead Media page if you guys want to watch it.
Along with the rest.
Thank you all for your support. The students have been really inspiring for all of us.